What up, everybody? I'm streaming, and just as I set this thing up, it started thundering its fucking ass off out there. More storms moving through, so you guys might hear some shit in the background. I'm just saying. So, anyway, I was supposed to have Bunty King on as a guest, but he never answered me back, so don't know. He might show up. I sent him the link. Talked to him last night. Scheduled it for 7 o'clock tonight, my time, Central Time. And he said, cool. And then I haven't heard from him. I've sent him a couple messages. So I figured I'd go ahead and go anyway. You know, I had a stream set up, ready to go. If he pops on, that's awesome. If not, I'll get another guest or something. Or just talk to you fine people. See what's going on. Watching Louder with Crowder and doing a live stream at the same time. LOL. You are you are a multitasking individual, because I can never do that. I know some people who have like 3 streams going, and they'll be set at different volumes, and somehow they'll be able to like hear all the different things going on, and if something piques their interest, they'll go over to the one that, you know, and they'll turn it up more or something. I don't know, man. I don't know how people can watch multiple streams. I don't get it personally. Can everybody hear me good? I hope so. It's showing that I have all my bars are going up, so. Yep. Hello, everyone. Wasteland Viking. How's it going, man? Alfred Keith. Pyromancer's here, too. Looks like, you know, getting a few viewers in. Sounding good, says Gray Summers. Thanks, Gray. Appreciate you. Yeah, it seems a lot like a lot of my plans for live streams just fall apart. I guess I'm not very good at this. Like, I know people who they get guests on all the time, and they somehow are able to like work that out. And like Drunken Peasants, they get a new guest every week, you know. Maybe it's because they have the numbers behind them, so people like want to go on that show. Like, this is more just kind of on my second channel, my live stream channel, and I kind of just do kind of my hangout, you know. It's just kind of more like a chill thing, kind of like what I do with Undoomed, just talk, you know. But yeah, it's just there's I tried to schedule something with Sargon. He said he'd come on. He said he had time. And I told him I'd contact him, you know, because he was all like, not this week, but next week. And I was like, cool, I'll contact you next week. And I hit him up every day last week, and he didn't answer me. And then I keep sending him random messages now and again. Be like, hey, buddy, still want to stream sometime? You know, I get nothing back. So, and then I had something scheduled with Bunty, and that fell through. Poisoning the Well, you know, I've wanted to have them guys back on, you know, to talk movies, you know, and like filmmaking and stuff, because those guys are trying to do like a bigger show like me, you know, with the higher productions and stuff. And they, oh yeah, man, we'll pop on. And then I'll send them a link and be like, I can't, you know. And I get it. People have lives. I'm not bitching. You know, people have to do things. You know, they have things to do. But it just doesn't seem to work out for me like other streams, man. It's crazy. Like, I try to get a guest on that I think you guys would want to, you know, hear a conversation between me and them. And man, it just falls through every fucking time. I learned my lesson because I even on SideQuest announced that I'd be having a stream with Sargon coming up because he said we would stream. Like, I thought that was a okay, that was like a green light. And then it was like, so on SideQuest, I was all like, watch out for the live stream channel. Might have, might be, doing a stream with Sargon. And then he never answered me back. So I've learned my lesson not to announce something unless it's like 100% official. I'm sure you could get Omegon to come on. Yeah, me and Omegon's friends. We fight online, though. Like, it's hilarious. Like, his character and my character have, like, a feud. But the man himself and me, out of character, we talk all the time. Well, not lately. I've been pretty busy. I'm sure if any of you following on Twitter, you guys know that I've been pretty busy because you can see the land developing. Now I've hired somebody to do the big, to run the bulldozer and the, all that stuff and the cat. But because as much as I like, fucking around with big machinery. I mean, I was a truck driver, forklift driver. I mean, you name it, I'd hop in it. I'd learn how to drive it somehow, some way. I'd figure it out. I love big machinery. But that was not something I was going to take a chance on. I don't know a first damn thing about yanking trees out of the ground with a caterpillar, So I hired somebody to do that, but I've been going up there. I've been helping with the brush hog, and all that stuff. Helping burn, keep the stuff burning, watch the underbrush, burn, make sure no embers float out and catch fucking ground on fire, things like that, because there's no running water out there if fire gets out of control. Oh, hoo-hoo. Of course, you don't have to worry about that here lately. Been having a lot of rain. So, Emil says Razor Fist collab. Man, he's one of those YouTubers that I absolutely would love to talk to because I've literally watched him, been subscribed to Rageaholic for years now. I've always enjoyed his content, and he's one of the few that just won't follow me back or really talk to me. Like, I'll tweet at him every now and again, and he won't answer, Him and Sticks don't follow anybody back, He doesn't answer. I'm surprised they were able to get him on, like, the Kumite and stuff, but I think that's because there was, like, massive political discussions, and it was pretty well known that he can hold his own. Yeah, Razor Fist is on Crowder tonight. Yeah, that's always a good one, Like, I've seen him on Crowder multiple times now, It's funny, Steven Crowder calls him Mr. Fist. Yeah, Sticks gives no fucks. Yeah, that's very true. He's just one of those personalities, Maybe it's because I don't have the following. I don't have the, I don't have the numbers. I don't have the following. This isn't really like an established show. This is a, this is on my live stream channel. This is more of a hangout. This is kind of the stuff I like to do, You are a great YouTuber too. Thank you. I'm giving everybody wrenches on the live stream channel. It's because sometimes I get these bots that'll just start posting all kinds of crazy shit over and over again. So the more people wrenches I have, the more quickly those things can be banned and flagged. That's the only thing I've ever flagged using my accounts. Like, I don't flag videos. I don't flag people's channels. I truly do believe people have the right to say whatever the fuck they want in a free society, and I consider the internet a free society. No matter how dark and fucked up it can be, I consider it a free society. So the only flags on my account are ones that I know were bots. They, when they pop up in my chat and post the fucking N-word 1,000 times, I'd right click, or I'd click on the little three dots, and I'd actually go to their channel and flag them as spam. And of course, they're a channel that doesn't have any subscribers, and it doesn't even have an icon, and it's a ghost account, for a bot. So I'd sit there and make sure they get flagged as bots. That's the only flagging I've ever done on YouTube, which I think is justified. I mean, they literally are just used to spam people's chats and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I mean, some people believe you shouldn't flag anything at all. I don't know about that. I mean, some things deserve to be flagged. I can hear the neighbors outside too. They're out there probably just watching the rain, watching the storm. So luckily that hasn't happened in a while. I haven't been spammed in a while, but at least I have a wrench army for when the time comes to flag bots. So good stuff. Hope you're not hanging out with Munderp anymore. The fuck is a Munderp? I don't know what that is. Are you trying to say Monday Matt? Is that Monday Matt? I haven't talked to him since the night all that stuff went down. Yeah, that was a fucked up situation. I honestly don't hate the guy. I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't hate anybody really. Even the guy who doxed me, I'm like, whatever. He got his just punishments, and I believe Mundane Matt's getting his for what he did. I try not to bog my mind down with, internet drama. I've got too much to do. I've got scripts to write and actors to hire and sets to build and a whole world to fucking build. And the last thing I need to do is get wrapped up into drama. But we haven't streamed in a while or anything like that. And I don't think he's even doing live streams because he knows what his chat will turn into. So I think he's put live streaming on hold. He's been he's been doing videos as far as I understand, but I think he's been staying away from social media, which is what I told him months ago. I told him that at VidCon. He got a lot. He's always gotten a lot of vitriolic hatred online. He's just one of those personalities where you either like him or you hate him. I don't know why. But I told him months ago, man, just fucking ignore that shit. Do your thing and fucking move on. Do your show and then go get a hobby, besides movies, this is the one good thing about my project, the building and the land and the bigger show, building up to a bigger show and pushing this business forward through all kinds of obstacles, because we got YouTube shutting people down. We got Twitter kicking people off. We got multi-platform, flaggings, and we got all kinds of shit like that and political, stuff. The censorship fight is real in this country. It's really happening. Through all of that, plus, time constraints and the lack of regular content besides side quest and, the occasional Poe. I haven't done a Magog video since, what has it been, 3 weeks now? And it's not that I can't or don't have the time. I mean, I have been spending a lot of time up at the land. Now that it's all cleared, I think there's going to be a couple more days of work. And then once it's all cleared, I'm going to do a video and update you guys in video form instead of pictures. But honestly, I've just I've been, I'm not gonna lie, I've been having a hard time finding something to talk about. You know, like finding videos to respond to and stuff. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of stupid out there, but it's also got to be well written. See, I don't like to put out anything that I feel I didn't put my whole 100% into, you know, and comedy doesn't just come naturally all the time, you know. Sometimes you sit down to write a script, and you sit down to write a script, and you have a video, and you think you know what you want to talk about, and then it just isn't funny, you know. And I think I've pretty much been there the entire month of August. I've done like 2 videos this entire month. Magog videos. Now, I've done plenty of Poe, and I've done SideQuest, you know. So people are getting content on my channel. It's just not, it's not regular. And it's probably not going to be regular for a while now because I am concentrating on these bigger projects. And I figured that's what everybody wanted me to do. That's what my Patreon boost was for. I mean, all these people are now giving me money to fund this bigger show. I want to give them what they want. So, Mota Labros drops a sign in the chat, says, sent a couple more weird art pieces. Awesome. I look forward to getting that. I did get a couple big packages today, but I don't remember if that was something I ordered or not. I can open them if you guys want. You guys want to see me open giant packages I got in the mail today? Type 1 in the chat if you want to see me open these giant packages I got. I'll go get them if you guys want. Making a world as such myself for my final year university project. It's a crazy amount of work just getting that shit on paper. And I still have a shit ton of 3D models to make. I hear you, bro. Fucking hear you. I hear you. All right, let me go get those packages. I'm gonna turn my camera off so you guys don't see my pajama bottoms. I'm not naked, but I wear these house pajama bottoms. I don't want you guys to see my Scottish flannel pajama bottoms. It's embarrassing. I guess now, since I told you about them, I guess it wouldn't really matter if you saw them. Ugh, fuck's sake. These things are fucking huge. Giant packages. Got a bunch of ones in the chat, though, so I guess this is happening. Yeah. Jesus. All right. Oh, I use my keys. Wow, my first unboxing live stream. I've never done one of these. See, I have no idea because sometimes I order a bunch of shit off like the Wish app that I think will look good on my set. And then I forget that I order it because it comes from China, so it takes like weeks to get here. So, it's an axe. This is something I ordered off the Wish app. It's plastic. It's a Halloween prop, essentially. Yeah. HalloweenTopCostumes.com. Viking axe. But I saw the picture of it and I was like, it looks kind of real. I wonder how real it would look on camera, even though it's made of plastic. I wonder, you know, because like you could hit somebody with that and it'd hurt if you really hit somebody because it's hard plastic, but it wouldn't kill them like metal would. Does that look semi-real? Like, would I be able to use that in a sitcom? I mean, maybe my webcam doesn't do justice, but it's not bad looking for a Halloween prop. You know, it's even got like these intricate carvings and stuff. But it's fucking plastic. That ain't bad. I mean, I think if it was like a battle scene where you're swinging it pretty fast, nobody would really notice on camera anyway. You know? Like Beardy could have that in his belt and pull it out and be like, yeah! And really hit somebody with it. And I mean, if the person's wearing armor, I mean, the edge would hurt really bad if you hit somebody too hard. But, you know, that ain't bad. I don't know. I think if you like swung it real hard, but just as you hit the person, you turned it. So you'd be like, ah! It would, you know, really fast, it would look like you hit them. Ow. I hit myself in the head with his axe. See the difference? One's plastic. One will kill you. That's even sharp. I want to actually hit myself in the head with the metal one. That ain't bad, though. That's not too bad. Got some plastic barbs sticking off of it, probably from the mold. Yeah, it was like $8. So if I could get a bunch of these, I'd at least have some plastic props from a Halloween store. I don't know. It's plastic, though, too. Maybe it could be painted. You know? Maybe I could add some extra detail with paint. You know? Wrap some real leather, you know, for the handle or whatever, so that it's a little more realistic than just a plastic Viking axe. All right, let's see what this other one is. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. This is probably the accompanying shield. Yeah, it is. See, I wanted to see. I ordered these cheap Halloween props just to see how realistic they look for decorations or props or whatever. I mean, these might not be usable. I mean, who would use a shield this size? Nobody. It's not even a shield, it's a buckler. I'm going to mute because this plastic's probably loud. There we go. I don't know. That'd probably look okay on a wall in the background or something, you know? I mean, obviously the other side is just black plastic, so on film you wouldn't want to show that side. Well, now my set is complete. I'm going to do the rest of the stream like this. Beard ain't got shit on me. I got a plastic shield and a plastic axe. Yeah, like a little shield. Well, I don't know. I think at least the texturing is nice, you know? So, like, if this was hanging on the wall of, like, the tavern or something in the background, you know? Wouldn't look too bad. I'll find a use for it. See, that's the thing. I collect props. I collect whatever I can get my hands on for this show, you know? Now people really think I'm weird. Yeah. Get a shield. My only problem is, because it's plastic, wood is not that fucking shiny unless it's lacquered. And back in medieval times, they would not have lacquered a shield, you know? So I guess there's a reason it's a Halloween prop. Of course, you can't beat the real thing. That's why I bought this axe. I mean, that's a proper full-size prop. I mean, it's actual wood and metal, and I mean, you could kill somebody with that. So this would not be one to use in the battle scene, but you could give that to an actor and they could feel the weight in their hands and it would help them get into character, you know. Well, that's it. My unboxing is complete. Did y'all enjoy that? Watch me open up a big ass box for such a little prop. Why don't they send them in giant boxes? Use some steel wool, you know, 0 grain. Yeah, I could. The only problem is it might be painted on. So even the finest steel wool would actually take the texture off and reveal the black plastic underneath. And that's counterproductive. You'd want to keep the wood, you know? You'd want to keep the wood texture. It's very thin. I mean, it bends. Hey, here's a name for an inn. The Bent Buckler. I like that. I might use that if, like, Beardy and Magog go to a different town. It's already been decided that the tavern / inn and Nightshade is the Ugly Mug. So. Yeah, there's probably not a way to keep it from shining if you put a light directly on it, but I think if it was just like a prop in the background hanging on the wall, the lights probably wouldn't affect it all that much. I'll find a use for it. I really will. Yeah, I could try clear coating it with a matte clear coat. That might work. Just got to choose the right one. I got a guy who can make those for you if you'd like, with whatever damage. Yeah, I mean, Stalvin's Forge, I'm already going to be hitting you up for quite a lot of work, probably. I don't know if you can make swords and things like that, but if you know how to make, like, basic things, you know, you could start now if you want, get the practice in. You could start just making, like, medieval silverware. Because, I mean, think about the tavern would have, like, the dark wrought iron fork with just the 2 prongs. And, like, the knife you sent me would be kind of like really great medieval silverware, you know? The amount of detail that's going to go into this is probably going to be a little mind-boggling, you know? Because I want it to function. You know, a lot of people ask me, why don't I just build a facade? You know, just the fronts of the buildings, you know? And I'm like, but that's pointless. I want to be able to move the camera through the village. I want to be able to, like, go inside some of the buildings with the camera, because I can't afford to build 6 or 7 massive studio buildings that are all temperature controlled and set up indoor sets. You know, like a proper sitcom would have, like, a massive studio building. And then you could set up an entire house inside the building. And that way there's no roof on the house and you can get nice lighting and everything. That's one of the points Undoom brought up with me in a conversation a while back ago. It's like when they do a sitcom like Frasier or Everybody Loves Raymond or whatever, like the whole house is built inside of a studio. But there's no ceiling. So they can light it properly however they want. That's how you do a proper sitcom. This is going to be a mix. It's going to be kind of like a sitcom, as it has basically one location, one central location. But it's going to be a little bit more like Xena and Hercules from the 90s. There's going to be adventure aspects to it, you know. Stalvin's Forge says, I got you, my friend. You'll have what you need. Yeah, just whatever you make up practicing, because I know you're practicing anyway. If you hammer out something that you think will look good on the sets, once you're done with it and you take all your pictures and be like, look what I learned how to make, you can send it to me. Even if it's all fucking dull and broke as fuck, I'll still use it. I'm not going to ask for anything specific, but if you just come up with some random shit, if you just practicing doing some things, because that's what you're doing anyway, I'll take it. Philadelphia has an insectarium that just got robbed of $40,000 worth of insects. Insects shouldn't be worth any money. Is Beardy going to be a permanent resident of Morscar? I don't know. Beardy's going through some stuff right now. You guys probably have noticed he hasn't been on side quests lately, and that's because he's got some personal things going on with his wife's or his girlfriend. I don't think they're married. The missus's grandma. He's got to be 24-hour caretaker for her right now until they find a more permanent solution because her dementia has gotten worse. I don't want to talk about his personal stuff outside of what he's already talked about on Twitter. That's the only thing. That's what I'm comfortable talking about. But he's going through some stuff, and I understand why. I really do. I hope that we get him back here soon, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Just all the best to Beardy. Yeah, just bear in mind all of this is a work in progress anyway. We're trying to build a little community around what we're doing. I'd love to say that all of my fans are on board with what I'm doing, but they're really not. There's I started getting after that live stream announcing what I wanted to do on my main channel to my main fans, because a lot of people didn't know what was going on because they weren't subscribed to the live stream channel. I got a huge boost in Patreon donations and everything, funding for this show. I got the funding I needed, so I didn't have to get a job. But I can tell you this, it's still going to take time. And I still got comments saying, no, just keep doing response videos. That's why I subscribe to you, So I'm probably going to lose the audience, a lot of the audience I've built over the past year and a half when I switch to a different format and actually do this bigger show. And I just got to accept that. I will be doing a proper Magog episode this weekend. If it kills me, I'm going to fucking do it. I got to figure out something to do. I got to figure out a video or something. I mean, there's plenty to respond to out there. It's just I haven't been feeling very funny. I've been feeling exhausted. I've been feeling very creative. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of script ideas and stuff, but all of that's for the bigger show. That still could be very well a year away from now, because we gotta finish the studio, and then I gotta move up there, and then once I move up there, we gotta clear out a spot for the village somewhere on the back half of the property and cut a path to it, and then build the village. And I don't even know where to begin with that. I'm gonna have to get some people out to Arkansas, some fans who want to help come out and build a medieval village. Got to get some food, shoot me some ideas, and I'll have some mock-ups in the near future. You have all my contact details. Feel free to call me if you have to, says Stalvin's Forge. Appreciate you, bro. Don't worry about it, man. I don't have anything specific. It's a long way out yet, so you got time. Just do what you do, man. Magog, have you seen that 6 minutes? What 6 minutes? Super racist John Hamm video? No. So, yeah. Is there a plan to make the studio look like a tower? Well, the inside of it will look like Magog's new digs. So instead of a wizard tower, Magog's going to have a magical emporium. It's going to be a whole interactive set inside the studio for me to do normal videos on it, as well as eventually film the show. You know, the inside shots of Magog's shop. A lot of story is going to take place there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah, I was supposed to have a guest. Looks like Bunty isn't going to make it, which is all right. You know, things happen, you know? Things happen. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but that's all right. We will still be able to see Slut. Yeah, of course. Slut's not going anywhere. That sword is actually from museum replicas. My mom bought me and my brother a matching set of swords. Slut is mine for my brother's wedding because my brother had a medieval wedding and I was his best man. So we both had swords. And my mom wanted it to be, she didn't want some plastic Halloween stuff. We wanted it to look really nice, you know, so she bought the real thing. I've had that sword since I think my brother got married when I was 16. So I've had that sword since I was 16 years old. I'm 33 now. So that sword ain't going anywhere. Have you looked into LARPing hobbies? They tend to be very detail-oriented for setting, props, and acting. Might give you some more ideas for things. Oh, yeah, I've been looking into the LARP world, and I know people in the LARP world. My brother-in-law is a fucking LARPer. You know, he even makes chainmail. You know, he hasn't in a real long time because now he's married and has a really important job, so I can't hit him up to make me chainmail or anything, but that's what he used to do anyway. People move on with their lives, you know. But no, there's a team of LARPers in the next town up. I've seen them at the public park on Sundays, beating the shit out of each other with foam swords. Thought about stopping and talking to those guys because they already have costumes and everything. Some of them are detailed oriented. I don't know about here in Arkansas. They try to be detailed oriented, but you know. Peterbilt's here. What's up, Peterbilt? He says sword got 1,000% cooler. Yeah. No, a lot of people didn't know that. My brother had a medieval wedding. They got a medieval Celtic band that played the music, and the cake was shaped like a castle, and everybody came. Even the guests all came in like medieval garb. That was the wedding. You know, the only people that didn't come in medieval garb were like the old people who just didn't get it. You know, some of the aunts and uncles and stuff like that showed up just like shorts on and T-shirts. They didn't quite, but it was casual. You know, we told them, you know, basically it was a medieval wedding, so nobody was going to be in suits. It was all going to be like medieval gear. My brother's wife had this like flowing, you know, noble woman's gown, you know. That was handmade by her mother. And my brother was wearing our family colors, Scottish. He was wearing a Scottish kilt with a tunic. So it was a proper kilt. It wasn't just something you slip on. You know, it wasn't a modern kilt that you put on like shorts. It was it wrapped around the chest and then around the waist and went down. And it was the Scottish colors of my mom's side of the family. That's the Scottish side of the family. I am distantly related to Mary, the Queen of Scots, on my mother's side. So, I mean, it's not my last name because it's my mother's side. My mother obviously took my father's name when they got married, but yeah, we come from a long line of Stewarts. You know, obviously the names changed over time, but we were able to trace our ancestry back. You know, my brother does all that research; he's fascinated by it, so he's been doing the family research. You know, and he was able to trace us all the way back to Mary, the Queen of Scots family, the Stuarts, the Scottish Stuarts. So we were probably like second. We probably come from like the third or fourth cousin, twice removed from that family, but still Scottish ancestry. You know, we got a bit of Scottish. Yeah, I did the. We even did the family blood DNA test where they take a swab and you take a swab and swab your cheek and put it in a tube and send it to ancestry.com or whatever. And then they send you a map of your blood markers. And it's basically a world map. And it has all the countries highlighted on it where you have ancestors. And I didn't have a single fucking ancestor on that map outside of Scandinavia, England, and Scotland and Ireland. Like, I didn't even have like 1% Spanish. Like, there was nothing. Like, the whole map was blue except for Scandinavia, England, Scotland, and Ireland. Like, I come from nothing on both my parents' side. Come from nothing but like Viking, Saxon blood. Like, you know, can you tell? Have you thought of having like a Morskar LARP gathering with all your fans? That would be interesting. Would be fun to LARP out a party with Magog. Yeah. Once everything's built and everything, I'd love to have everybody out and, you know, and fucking, you know, as long as it's safe. You know, we are talking about a lot of, you know, I have fans, but at the same time, I have a lot of, you know, you guys are also strangers. You know, I have no idea how you guys act when you're drunk and you have medieval weapons. So as long as it can be secure and everybody can be respectful, I'd love to have a big old yearly get together of Magogonites, and I could just sit on a big like throne wearing the Magog outfit and drinking mead and watching you guys battle with foam weapons. That would be great. We could cook a huge barbecue. We could cook like the massive turkey legs you get at Ren fairs. Those things are delicious. Those smoked turkey legs. You can get a bunch of them. We could cook a whole pig, whatever. And we'll fucking drink mead. That's the kind of the point of having the village functional too. So that people can, you know, hang out inside the tavern. Like, it's not just a prop. It's not just a facade. It's like an actual building, you know, with and stuff. So that's kind of the upside of being out in the country too. I throw a big party like that, ain't nobody going to be bothered by the noise, you know, especially if we pick the right time of year, like in the fall. Like, I'd love to do that around Halloween, because then everybody can have an excuse for having like the costumes, but it also starts to cool off here. The bugs kind of die down. We don't have to worry about mosquitoes so much, but it's not so cold that nobody wants to be outside because it's freezing your ass off. It's you know, it's in the 60s in October. You know, that's nice. Leaves all start to turn different colors, you know. That would be fun. I'd love to have like a Halloween Magogonite celebration. You know, it's the feast of Magog. MagogCon, or maybe MorscarCon. Yeah, come up with some fun name. But have it out for a weekend. People can come down to Arkansas. It's got to be pretty cheap to fly to Arkansas. I mean, it's not exactly a tourist spot, so the planes coming in and out are fairly small and inexpensive seats. You know, like, you'd have to catch a flight probably into Memphis or Dallas and then catch a connecting to Little Rock, because we're not even a national airport. I mean, it's just a national airport. We're not even an international airport, you know. And some of you want to bring your like weapons and things like that, so, and your armor and stuff, so maybe even flying wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe you could just drive down. Depends on where you live, I guess. Trip from Florida be about 14 to 17 hours, depending on how much you stop and depending on where you are in Florida. I've made Charleston, South Carolina in 14 hours from where I'm at in Arkansas. So, and that's all the way to the coast. Charleston's on the coast. But I don't know where in Florida you are. It could add another 5 hours to that journey, you know. Now, with multiple stops, I mean, that was 14 hours just hauling ass. Like, barely stopping except to piss and gas up, you know. What about Oklahoma City? I have made Oklahoma City in about 5 hours. My friend came down. I was home, and my friend from the military came to Altus Air Force Base to do some training, and he was going to be there for like 3 months. So I drove to see him, and I had to drive through Oklahoma City to get to Altus. And I think I made Oklahoma City in about 5 hours. So if you're in Oklahoma City, that wouldn't be much of a drive for you at all to come out on a weekend and fucking party, you know? As long as you got a place to stay, I don't think you could sleep in the village unless you guys want to pitch tents on my land. You're more than welcome to do that. If we do it in October, a tent wouldn't be too bad. That's a perfect time to camp. Is tent, you know, pitch tent, you know? But most of you, I would recommend getting a hotel room in the nearby city, which there's plenty. There's plenty of hotels around. Cheap hotels too, because I'm outside of Little Rock, even though I'm close to Little Rock. So you can rent a room for like $30 a night at some of these little small town hotels. And that doesn't mean they're ghetto hotels filled with hookers and shit. It just means that they're small hotels in small towns. I don't care how long the drive is. I want out of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Second Fleet actual. Yep. No, I think that would be great, you know. God, if only I could win the lottery, guys. Tell you what, I'd do some shit. You guys would want to, all of you would want to come party if I won the lottery, because I wouldn't, you know, people are like, oh, I'll build a mansion, I'll buy a boat, I'll buy like a yacht, and then they're poor in a year. I wouldn't do that if I won the lottery. I'd build Morscar, and then I'd make the money back by filming on it and doing the bigger show. But man, I'd be able to do some shit. Oh. If I won the lottery, you guys would see some shit, because I wouldn't give this up. I love doing it. I love being Magog and stuff. I'm just in a creative slump right now because I'm stuck in this tiny space. I'm just so tired of these four walls. Like, it's just a 500 square foot apartment. It's so small. This is my living room, you know, and kitchen. That's it. That's all I got. I got no space to move. I got no space to take the character in new directions. All the new jokes I write are really for, you know, moving around and stuff. I want to see Magog do some different things, but man. Motive LeBro says, I say have tents circling a bonfire. Yeah. It's the whole point of living in country. And in Arkansas, there are no rules in the country. That's why building this is important in the country. I couldn't do this on like commercial property in the city. You have to have all kinds of permits and all that stuff. But in Arkansas, the moment you're outside of city limits, if you're in the county, if you live in any county, doesn't matter what county, if you're out in the county outside of city limits, you can build whatever you want without permits. You can build a whole house without a permit. You don't have to get like electricians and shit like that. You have to do it all. You can do it all yourself without permits or anything. That's how come you end up getting out in the country. You start seeing like busted up trailers with cars all in the yards, because there are no rules in the country. Out in the county, there are no rules. And that was the point of buying this property, because I could build a medieval village and I don't have to have a permit to build these buildings. Like if you build something like that in the city, you got to have permits, because it's like building a shed. You can't just build a shed in your backyard in the city. Like, even if you have a big backyard, you can't just build a shed. You have to get a permit. It's fucking bullshit. JTRW said, I have seen shit that'll turn you white. Yeah. You can make money renting to on-site staff. Yeah. No, if I won the lottery and could build what's truly in my head, you guys would. It would be like an adventure getaway when I'm not filming. Like, I would build the village, the medieval village, to be so fully functional that it would even have like power outlets hidden in the wall, so people could still like charge their phones and stuff. And I'd have like individual single air conditioning units hidden in the wall to where all you see is the vent, and I could cover it up with curtains while filming, because my parents have one in the shop. There's a shop connected to their house, and my dad has his own air conditioning unit for that shop, because even though it's connected to the house, it's really far on the other side of the house. And it's an air conditioning unit about this big and that thin. It's not like a window unit that hangs out the fucking, like it's the tubes go outside, and on the ground there's the actual unit, just like you would in a house, but it's tiny. And you could have this thing on the wall and it pumps in fucking air conditioning like nothing. It's crazy. I'd have each individual house people could literally stay in. It would, like, even though it would look medieval, it would all be insulated. It would have heating and air. The heating would probably be natural heating, though. Like, I would have air conditioning for people to come out in the summer. But I would, most likely for heating, it would probably have, each house would probably have either a wood-burning stove or a fireplace, depending on the size of the house. But it would be, like, literally fully functional. And it would be on at least a minimum, in my mind, if like money were no object and I had won the lottery, it was the Powerball and I won like $100 million. In my mind, this place would be Morscar, and it would be on 400 or 500 acres of land. And the village would be like in the dead center of it. So on the outskirts, I'd have like parking for about 150 people. Right? And you'd park and have to walk into the park. Like, you'd park your cars. I know they're two words that mean different things. So you'd park your car, then you'd have to walk into Morscar. And from that point on, minimize the modern, And so people would like rent these cabins. They'd want to have weddings there. I'd build a fucking castle. And then on that 400 acres of land outside of the village, there'd be elven ruins I'd build out in the woods that people can go out and find. There'd be like some witch cottage, witch's cottage out there in the woods. I'd build like different locations. I'd have a whole field, cleared with very few trees. And that could be like an ancient battlefield. I'd have like fake dead bodies out there with swords, skeletons out there with like swords sticking out of the ground and things like that. And people could literally they could show up and LARP and adventure on this 400 acres of property. I'd even have like horses for people to ride. I'd have actual livestock, and I'd hire people to care for everything. It'd be medieval world. I'd hire employees, people to like clean the buildings and, and take care of the livestock. And I mean, if I became rich overnight, y'all would see some shit. Y'all would see some crazy shit. Y'all could like stay in the castle, because I'd have a proper castle with like multiple rooms. Where Magog lives, you can rent women by the tooth. A threesome runs about $10 with a generous tip. Yeah, you're not completely wrong. Motive LeBro says, Airbnb, bro. Yeah. Do you imagine that Airbnb going up on the internet? People are like, why would I ever go to Arkansas? And then they click on it and be like, I want to go to Arkansas. Peterbilt says 17 hours, 1,111 miles from South Florida to Little Rock. Yep, sounds about right. Yeah, you're in South Florida. Yeah, about 17 hours. Like I said, I've made Charleston in 14. So I know I can make Northern Florida in about 14, 15. Dragon Ace says Magog marrying couples at an altar. LOL, that's great. I totally would get ordained and do weddings if I could build that place. See, we're starting small right now. I got a studio being built. It's going to probably only be about 400 or 500 square foot bigger than what I got right now, which is plenty. Don't get me wrong, because I can live in in the space I have now. If it wasn't also my set, I want a living room back. I'd love to have a couch. I miss my couch. I miss having a couch. So if I can live in this 500 square foot, to have another 400 or 500 square foot to be just for the set, I'm fine with that. And then I'm going to build the village. It's probably going to be small, probably only about 6 or 7 buildings. But that's how we start. Then eventually, over time, depending on the money we make, depending on who watches the show and how many people, it grows from there. And then I end up buying more land somewhere else and moving the entire set, Because the inevitable end of this, if it becomes successful, is to buy a few hundred acres of land, not 10, not 20, not 50, a couple hundred, so that it actually feels like you're out exploring. And in Arkansas, it's cheap. I found that most land, depending on where it is out in the country, like once the further you get away from Little Rock, which is our major city, besides Fayetteville, and like Conway counts as Little Rock. I mean, it's real close. So the Conway, North Little Rock area only has about 300,000 people. That's like the mass of our population. Then there's like Fayetteville and stuff. Fort Smith up in North Arkansas is all pretty populated. But outside of that, nothing. Small towns. So the further away you get from Little Rock, the less expensive land gets, and you eventually get to a point where it's about $2,000 an acre or less. And $2,000 an acre ain't shit, right? Just depends on how much you're trying to buy. Take, for instance, recently, I decided to just randomly look at land for sale on Zillow in Arkansas. The whole state, not just in my area, because usually I'm just looking in the area that I also want to live. Then I started to just kind of expand that search out of curiosity, because I think it's fun to kind of look at what's for sale out there. And boy, I tell you, if I had $11 million, if I had $11 million, I tell you what, you guys, I'd know exactly where I build more Scar. Because I found for $11 million up in slightly northern Arkansas, probably about an hour and a half from where I live now, I think it was like 6,200 and some acres for $11 million. Now, if you divide that up, that's like 1,800 a square foot, 1,800 an acre. But it's 6,000 acres. That's a country. Like I could literally build all of Morscar. Like it'd take you a day to cross that land. Like an actual 24-hour period of walking, if you didn't have like cars and shit and you were beating through the bush. I mean, 6,238 acres for $11 million is actually dirt cheap. 11 million sounds like a lot of money, but that's 6,000 acres. That's 6,000 football fields. And it was kind of close to the Ozarks, so part of the land was next to a river. So it's got beautiful creeks running through it. And then the other half of the land, the other side of the land, after it goes flat for a while, the other side of the land starts to go up and turn into hills and mountains. So it's just like empty. Basically, whoever owns it has been using it for hunting land. It's basically filled with wildlife. So 6,000 acres, imagine You know, if I won like $100 million Powerball, man, shit, I 11 million ain't even that much for that 6,000 acres. I put the rest of it into building out there. You know, getting electricity, getting the town built. I mean, God, imagine. God, I'd have to get like a team of people together with a map of that property and be like, where do we put what? Where's the Elven Ruins? Where's Magog's Wizard Tower? You know, and then the village that is below it. You know, like I do all kinds of crazy shit with 6,000 acres. Ghost of Recon. If one of my companies takes off, I'll invest. Well, here's the success for both of us, my friend. Nobody drinks at Starbucks, okay? Antifa hotline. Ozarks have crazy property deals. Yeah, they do. You would own Arkansas? No, not quite. Arkansas is actually kind of a big state. It looks small on a map of the United States compared to other states, but people forget how mind-numbingly large America is. You can buy entire swaths of 10,000 acres of land, like Montana, you know, ranch land, for fucking nothing, you know, if you want to live out there. That many acres and you get to kill animals? Fuck yeah. Yeah. Would only cost me 750 quid to fly to Little Rock from here. That quid or euro? It looks like quid. All hail Orcus capital, says Ghost Recon. That would be awesome. Asking 2,000 an acre, but I bet you could get it for under $1,000 an acre when buying multiple acres. Maybe you might be able to talk them down from 11 million to maybe, I'd say 9 million, but I guarantee they wouldn't take less than that. My hubby would love that. He wanting just like some acres, just make an orchard area, and I want a hobbit hole. Well, Rebecca, it all starts with a dream. Just got to work towards it. I don't know if you want to build a hobbit hole in Arkansas, though. But I'll tell you what. If I have a big lotto win, I'll give you a big chunk of cash for residents in Nightshade Village to live in. Hey, it's your dime. That big house built into the side of a cliff in Parthenon, Arkansas is for sale. Got 3 mil handy. Would make an excellent Morse car. I saw that. I think you sent it to me, actually. That's actually like a cave house. Like the walls, like it's a very modern house inside, but the walls are stone. Like it's built into the side of a mountain. I wouldn't want to live there. No windows. Freaks me out. However, Arkansas's only Scottish castle is for sale right now for about $8 million. And it's literally on a mountaintop overlooking, was it Fayetteville? You know, where the Razorbacks play. I mean, it's overlooking the mountains, but I mean, in the distance, you can see that city, you know. Sad. I don't know where the Razorbacks play. Is it Fayetteville? I may live in Arkansas, but I'm not a big Hogs fan. I'll watch a Hogs game when I catch it, but yeah. Yeah, that's some crazy shit, man. You know? Look up like here, I'll look it up. You guys want me to screen share? I'll do that. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, the drum board. And it is currently for sale. The last I checked, it was about $8 million. $8 million. Screen share. Present to everyone. You guys should see this, right? You guys see this? I only have the chat up so you guys can tell me you can see it. Once I see you can see it, then I'll go through this website. Yep. All right. So this castle is the only Scottish castle in all of Arkansas, and based on Scottish design, and it is for sale. Sorry, I can't blow it up. It's like in its own website, thedrumborg.com. Look at this fucking thing. It's based on 13th century architecture. But it has some contemporary stuff. But look at that shit. I'd get rid of all the modern stuff and like film Game of Thrones there. Like this right here looks like one of the patios in King's Landing. Like Queen Cersei would be like talking to somebody and devising some scheme. $8 million last time I checked. I mean, it could be higher now, but or lower. Who knows? Nobody's buying the fucking thing. A guard check. This fucking place. Do the interior now. Look at that. Imagine living in that. Now that's a fucking kitchen. The TV comes up out of this fucking thing. Yeah. The mead hall. Look at those chandeliers. I want those. I want the wrought iron candles. That'd be awesome. Oh, they got it decorated for Christmas. Got like custom engravings and shit. That right there is a fucking elevator. Stone floor. This has got to be like the fanciest place in Arkansas. The property taxes alone. I mean, $8 million doesn't sound like a lot for a place like this. But then you think of the property taxes and the land around it, like they own the entire mountain that it's built on. So, yeah, there's a city out there. Ooh. Yeah, there's the master. That's where all the magic happens. Right there. Some rich people shit. Oh, God, that's an awful color. They have a urinal. That's an awesome idea, actually, putting like a public urinal in a residence. So you have a toilet to shit on, but you're not pissing all over the rim because you have a fucking urinal all to yourself. I'd love to have a private urinal as well as a toilet. The garage. Another garage. Whoever's living there's got some fucking shit, though. The Ozarks. Own it. In addition to the 12,000 square foot main residence, 8,825 square foot heated interior space, Drumborg property also includes 40 pristine acres forested in red and white oak, hickory, maple, and cherry trees. Additional contiguous acres available. So you could buy even more land with it. $8.7 million. Boom. Bada bing. Bada bing, bada boom. What do y'all think about that? Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Now I have to like read what you guys were saying. Ray Summer says, yeah, if I won the lottery, at least $1 million is going toward the Magog and Morskar brand. I appreciate that. If all of my fans bought lottery tickets, what are the odds that one of us would win? Probably still slim to none. You know? That ceiling, though, yeah. I probably wouldn't even buy that place if I was a millionaire, to be honest with you. I mean, it's beautiful, but fuck. I'd rather build something custom that's designed after the Magog world. You know? It's definitely built for modern living, not for filming. Like, I don't need a big place to live. My dream isn't even to have a big house anymore. It used to be. I used to want like big plantation style house, Southern Gothic, you know. But now everything's changed. You know, now that I'm Magog and I love doing this, I love doing the podcast, I love doing the live shows, I love the idea of doing the sitcom and actually bringing work, you know, to, you know, and business to Arkansas, you know, tourism and business and jobs. You know, I love the idea of like hiring people and actually having a business off of this, as well as entertaining people. My whole life has changed. All I need is like a 1,200 square foot house, but I want it on like hundreds of acres of land, you know, so I can build all these massive medieval sets that I can use over and over again. And when I'm not filming on them, I can use them to host Ren fairs and weddings and LARP events and the yearly Magogonite party, invite only for my fans, you know, just for my fans, would not be open to the public, you know. That would be the dream come true right there if we could ever make it happen. If ever that happened, man, I'd do all kinds of shows. I'd have all kinds of different characters have their own spinoff. Like, I'd have Beardy just move down to Arkansas permanently. If that ever happened, he could live on the property too somewhere. He could build his house even far away from mine so we don't have to be right next to each other, you know? And he could do his filming on his channel on that property as well. It could literally be this fantasy realm, this massive section of what I've built in my mind, you know? And people could come out too because they could make see, that's the difference between just opening up like a medieval theme park or a medieval park for Ren fairs like they have in Texas and stuff. There are a few places around the country where people have built medieval, you know, medieval stalls and houses and stuff in this little area, and people host Ren fairs there. But nobody's ever thought of it like mine, like where it's not just a Ren fair. You're promoting it through books, film. You know, we're talking short films and a show. And like all this stuff is out there on the internet to promote it. And then people watch it and they become fascinated with the characters. They can become fascinated with the land and the lore and, you know, the history of this place. And then one day they find out all they got to do is fly down to Arkansas and visit. So it all helps promote it, you know? And it would be a massive, it spared no expense. It'd be my Jurassic Park. I'd even get a cane, even though I don't need it. I'd walk around with a cane, you know, and all my Magogonites would show up and they'd see the castle for the first time up on the hill, and they'd see the village all lit up, and there's like this old tree in the center of the village, all these fairy lights twinkling in it and everything, and it looks all magical and mystical and fantasy like, and everybody's like, oh my god. And I even have like one fan like falls to his knees, and I'm like, my dear Magogonites, my dear bearded savages, welcome to Magog Park. And I'd even have like somebody standing by with a radio, and they'd hit the button and play the Jurassic Park theme. Miss Murder says Magog will be the new Ready Fair. I love it. I'd move to Arkansas for that. I think a lot of people would be interested, at least visiting. I don't know about moving here, but I'd even hire some of my more hardcore fans and patrons. Just if you guys wanted to move here, I'd hire you to, literally like take care of the place. You could buy a house wherever you want to live. So your kids can go to school or whatever. But where you would work, you could drive out every day and be like, okay, I got to clean the tavern today, sweep out all the old cobwebs and all that stuff. I'll need maids. I'll need, I'll need landscapers, people to keep the grass down and the bugs down and stuff like that, people to spray. Oh man, nighttime would be great too. I found this fog machine. You can buy these industrial fog machines like they use in Hollywood, right? There's a fog machine that connects to an icer, and the icer is like this massive chest you fill with ice. And so the fog machine connects to it. You dump all this fluid in it. And this fog machine holds like 25 gallons of fog juice, the stuff that makes fog. And then the fog gets pumped through the cooler. Basically, it filters through the ice and comes out the other side cold. So when fog is cold, what does it do? It stays low to the ground. It doesn't go floating up in the air like smoke. And so it stays low to the ground. And that's how they get like that foggy effect in movies and stuff where the fog is just on the ground. I'd have that some bit. And according to the specs on that thing, it can cover up to 12 square miles in ground fog if you let it run for a few hours. That fog will travel. I'd set that some bitch up and pump the entire fucking village with ground fog. Magog doing Willy Wonka, yeah, right? Welcome to my magical world. I might have to visit Arkansas just to visit Morscar Park, right? Mechanical engineering is my thing. The biggest thing I think would be tough, like if money was no object, like I said, if I'm like ever won the lottery or something and I could make this happen like overnight. Basically, if I won the lottery, if I won the lottery today, I would take the entire year of 2019 to build the place. I'd get everybody out that can help, and I'd pay so that the trip would be worth it. It wouldn't be just volunteer work. And what I'd do is I'd set it up to where it's just kind of an interactive, experience. There would at least be one cave that has a dragon in it. And it would be like a fully animatronic dragon, like at Universal Studios, where you could be on a roller coaster ride and be attacked by fucking King Kong or whatever. You could totally do like an animatronic dragon, that comes out of the cave, that would be great. Some shit like that. Make it real fun, So, yeah, that's some good shit, man. You guys like that idea? I don't know. Give me a second. It looks like Bunty just messaged me. Yeah. Bear with me. Ah, looks like he got sucked into something. Got pulled into something and lost track of time. That is all right. So, anyways, I love talking about this stuff. I know it's all hypothetical and there's no way to actually build this. I don't have any millionaire fans that'll just be like, oh, I have 50 million in the bank. Here, Magog, have like 2 million. Go be Magog. I don't have like hardcore investors. I'm not going to win the lottery. It's fun to just talk about, though. It's fun to dream. You got to hold on to the dream. Even if it never becomes as big as you imagine it. Like right now, this 12 and a half acres of land, it's finally getting cleared. I'm going to get a little building built. I'm going to get my little studio building. I'm going to build the village. And when it's all done, I'm going to hang that sign on the building that says More Scar Studios. And it's going to be the proudest day of my life. Next to serving in the military. When I first graduated basic training and actually officially became an airman. Outside of that, it would just be like, even if it never got bigger than that, even if it was just this little village and that little building, and I just did my live shows and my little sitcom with a few actors and a few people that like doing it, even if it never gets bigger than that, and I only have 10,000 people that watch the show every year, I'd still consider it a success. I'd be very, very proud. I'd love to do it big. I would. I'd love to do $1 million landscaping project to turn hundreds of acres into an adventure zone for every LARPer and Ren Fair person who's ever wanted a dream place like that to come true. Like, why isn't that a thing yet, though? I mean, it boggles my mind a little bit, where it's like, man, as popular as Ren Fairs are all around the country, they're in Texas, they're here in Arkansas, they're all through the South, they're all through the Midwest, especially up north. I don't know if they're popular out in like California or whatever, but man, there's so many people who travel. They travel miles for a Ren Fair every year. Like one of the biggest Ren Fairs is in May down in Texas. Somebody help me out with the name of it. It's got its own name and everything. Like everybody fucking knows it. And thousands of people go down in May. It's over like Memorial Day weekend or whatever. And it's like, fuck, all around the country, people come down to like Corpus Christi or wherever it is in Texas just to go to that Ren Fair because of how big it is. They have like jousting events and like it's one of the biggest ones ever. But it's still at like Scarborough Fair. Thank you. $50. Appreciate it. But it's still like at like a state park, It's still at like a state park, where they, and they erect buildings and everything. Don't get me wrong. It's all very impressive, but where the fuck is like 1,000 acres of land of just pure adventure time? Where people can feel like they've literally just like walked through the gates of another world. And when you walk through, there isn't none of this like modern shit where it's all like, yeah, we're a Ren Fair, but over there's where you charge your phone, and over there we have Wi-Fi and coffee, and over there you can get pizza. Fuck that. I want to feel like I walked into a movie set. I want to feel like I really walked into another world, Now, to be safe, you would have to have some modern amenities, but what you do is you hide them. And just like I said, like say somebody's staying in the medieval castle. for their wedding night. And it's like, Jesus Christ, there's like literal like lanterns instead of like electric lights. However, this is the real world. We also have to have ambulances standing by for things like that, and and shit like that, So like you have to have safety, you have to have liability coverage and all that stuff. So you would have to have electrical outlets hidden, or on the walls or whatever, but maybe they could be like behind a little wood panel, or like one of the stones of the castle. You pull the stone out, there's an electrical socket inside of it, and that way it all blends together really nice, Motive LeBro says Scarborough Fair in Waxahachie near Dallas. That's the one. Yeah. It's one of those things that's EMTs hidden as village drunkards, Yeah, I mean, like, that's always been kind of my problem with like Disneyland. In Disney World, you go there and it's supposed to be this magical place, but you go there and it's like all these people are walking around with fanny packs and their kids are screaming, and it's like, and there's all these rides and all that stuff, and there's giant characters running around with big fuzzy heads and people in costumes and stuff like that, and it's also fun. I'm not knocking it, but at the same time it's also chaotic. It's all so big. Where's the sense of adventure and wonder? It gets lost in the massive crowds and everything. Like, even if I built a place like that, I'd only open it to like 200 people at a time. I wouldn't let any more than that in. And it's one of those things with like a dress code. Like, you fucking don't show up with a fanny pack and jeans on. This is a medieval world you're stepping into. Be a part of the world. Now, that being said, some exceptions have to be made. What if somebody wants a wedding there and they want the wedding to be at the medieval village, but they want to wear like a modern wedding dress, or maybe grandma is coming to the wedding and she's in a fucking wheelchair with goddamn air hose in her fucking nostrils. I'm not going to be like, no, just give her a potion. She can't be in a wheel, like, get her to the wooden chair. I'm not going to, you have to make some sacrifices for reality, obviously. But this whole, like, like, even people like walking around the Ren Fair, like Scarborough Fair, they're just there to kind of take it all in and visit. And that's cool. But that's not what I'm talking about doing. That's why my place wouldn't be like open to the public. It'd be more like for people hosting events. Would you have costumes and stuff could rent? I doubt I could get a sword or crossbow onto a plane. Well, yeah, I mean, if this was like as big as what we're talking about, if this ever became that big, it'd be like Westworld. When the guy shows up for Westworld, they take him into the dressing room and they have him choose his outfit first, and he gets to choose whatever hat he wants, and everything's like, and then he boards the train and goes into Westworld. And once you do that, you've left your phone behind. You've left everything behind. I guess I just have bigger dreams. I've always thought of an actual place that felt more like a game, that you can really kind of, once you arrive, you have like this secure area that has security and people like that. And that's where you leave all your technology and everything. And when you go into the park, you're breaking away from the world. You're immersing yourself in this world. It's kind of like when I visited like down here in Little Rock, we have like a colonial town. It's part of the history of Little Rock and stuff. And it's literally a colonial days. It's called Colonial Days. And it's in the center of Little Rock. So it's surrounded by all these skyscrapers and shit. But we went there for like, we went there for fucking like field trips and stuff when we were kids. And then people were dressed in colonial attire and they were making bread the way you made bread, and the person would give these tour guides and talk about what life was like in the colonial Arkansas. and they went around and they did their best to, like, do, simple accents and dress, and they never broke character while the park was open. It was crazy. It was like, you go there and they're like, oh, the one girl had like an Irish accent, and she was just like, oh, I work all day and I do the laundry, and and you're like, wow. And they're giving you a history lesson while also immersing yourself in that colonial time period. And that was cool to me. Why can't that be done with like a fantasy medieval thing, Not that, JTRW, not that immersive. He said, I don't want to get disemboweled by a mechanical succubus. Yep. So, yep. I don't think Bunty's going to come by. So I'll probably end up changing the name of this stream to, medieval talks or something. This channel's definitely just for the hardcore fans, because if you guys have subscribed to the live stream channel, it's because you just really like everything that I do, and it doesn't really matter if I don't, have a guest, or if it's just me talking with my fans for a few hours, one of these days we could very well get to a point to where we have like a Westworld type thing where it's a park filled with very realistic androids, and you completely immerse yourself into the world by when you arrive, and you can do anything you want. You can play the game however you want. It doesn't matter if you damage the robots or whatever have you. I don't know if we'll ever actually have to that level where you could just go in and blow fucking shit up and kill everything. It'd be too expensive, but man, it'd be great to at least have some sort of immersive world, like, I don't know, like, there's a part of me that wants more, like, if Morscar was built, like, if I had that kind of money, I'd even like bury the power lines so that there wouldn't even be power lines going into the village, that you could see up in the sky, like over the village and stuff. Like, I'd want it to be as immersive as possible. Madman 845 says 4 more Scar. Thank you. And Dragon Ace 1992 says shooting shit with wrenches. LOL. Shooting shit with the wrenches. Yep. Yeah. There is something about, like, when I play fully modded Skyrim, and it's just way more beautiful than the vanilla game and more immersive, and there's more realism to the textures, and all new like 3D trees that actually have like snow on them, and the weather mods and all that stuff. All the modding community made that game 10 times better than it was when it first came out. And when you finally get it running right, and you have all the problems fixed, and you're not crashing every 5 seconds, which I found I haven't had a single crash on Skyrim SE Special Edition, since it's a much more powerful version of the game. It runs on a 64-bit system, holds more memory and all that stuff. I'm running like 152 mods right now, and I haven't had a single crash. Runs beautifully. I've been having a good time on my off time when I'm not writing scripts or whatever. I'll play a few hours. I just want to kill some bandits, do some shit, but I feel like video games are what we do to immerse ourselves out of the world, right? I'm not going to get into a huge conversation about Skyrim, but that is true. Thantonic. Bethesda games are all better with mods, and I think that's also why they support the mod community. Unlike some video game developers who don't even want you fucking modding their game, and some of those games are really hard to mod. They have to be like broke as fuck before you can mod them. But anyway, I think if video games immerse us, using like even to the point of where we're getting to VR territory now. It won't be long before we have full blown virtual reality, like in Ready Player One or something, right? I give it about 20 years till it's like that realistic, to where you just put this thing on and you're like, whoa, your mind is you're not even aware of your actual physical self, like you're in the game. But man, video games are one thing, but imagine Morscar, like as a park, like as a Ren Fair park, where you can go there and physically actually be there in real time and get out of the house and actually have an adventure, some sort of guided adventure. We'd have to figure out some sort of storyline or something, or people can make up their own. They can come there with their LARP teams and be like, okay, you guys are in that village and castle, and then 200 acres this way, there's another village and castle. We're going to split up and have a war. Is it ever going to be as fantastical as video games? Well, no, because video games, you can do anything. You can climb on the back of a dragon while it's flying through the air and cut his fucking head off. You can, like in Dragon's Dogma. You can do all kinds of shit in video games you can't do in real life. In real life, when people cast spells, nothing happens. You would still have to have I think LARPers, they throw like beanbags, like different colored beanbags as spells. There's still always going to be an element of the fantasy, right? It all has to be, it's your imagination. But imagine the difference between, let's say, I don't know, how many LARPers do I have in the chat? How many people have done LARP events and you've gotten your armor perfect and you want it to be realistic and you want, it's like somebody said, LARPers are detail-oriented. They want it to all look nice, right? And then they go out to like the city park and battle. And it's like they're out there in the city park and there's like kids playing on the slides over there. And there's a thing over there with the fucking, moms and dads are parked and all that stuff. And it's like, man, you spend all this time getting your personal costume and your weapons and everything looking great, and you end up at the local park. Imagine if there was a place you could go just for like one weekend. There's a massive event, and you could go to this like 400 or 500 acre medieval land that has castles and villages and entire areas that you can explore, like old ruins out in the woods, and man, I'd even love it if there was some sort of mountain on the property, just a single mountain that we could like dig into and make like a dwarven ruin. Like people walk through the doors and it's huge pillars, and not as big as Lord of the Rings, obviously, because that's fantastical big. But imagine stuff like that and being able to now I can take what I love about my LARPing, the costume and the attention to detail, and all my friends are the same way. And we can go out to this place and really embed ourselves in our own world. That'd be great. Modded Skyrim is the best Skyrim. Dude, I've got like 150 mods. Easy. It's crazy, but absolutely amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, with Old Rim, with the original Skyrim, there's a lot more mods available than the special edition because they had to be ported and changed and all that stuff. But Old Rim crashed constantly. It had memory leaks. It only ran 32-bit system, so it could only handle like 1 or like 2 gigs of memory. Like, it didn't matter how big your graphics card was or how badass your PC was. Old Rim wouldn't recognize more than 2 gigs anyway. And it just sucked. Modding that for years sucked. I'd get crashes, I'd get glitches, the Havoc engine would flip out. But Skyrim Special Edition, it's got enough mods to make me happy because I'm not even running like heavy lists of mods like other people. I run mostly all the immersion mods and the texture changes and the world mods, JK Skyrim, Dawn of Skyrim, with all the patches, immersive creatures, immersive weapons, a few weapons and armor mods of my own personal choosing. I've also pulled up their textures and changed them to my liking and then resealed the BSA so that I could load them in my own way. And I played Skyrim my way. But even then, Skyrim Special Edition is way more stable. I used to get like this glitch where like people, like you go running out into the tundra, and when it would load the cell, the mammoth would be up in the sky in the distance, and then it'd fall to its death. I don't get any of that crap with Skyrim Special Edition. I love it. So I'm like back into Skyrim after years of not playing it. I haven't actually played Skyrim since like 2012. Twisty Fresh says $20 for Morscar and Magog. Thank you, Twisty. And Dragon Age says, I still have Old Rim. It is a struggle. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I dream, is to at least have an actual little medieval world. Because we don't have that here in America. You go to Europe and you can like drive into a town, like some village out in the middle of nowhere, out in like, out in the fucking, I guess what they would call a county, but you go out to the Midlands and find some village that has like one pub, and that's about it. And it all still kind of looks European medieval, like there's cobblestone streets, and I've even seen pubs that are like protected by the Historical Society. So even though they're open for business and very modern on the inside, like when you walk in, they have beer and they have a karaoke machine and a jukebox and all that stuff. The damn thing still has a thatched roof, like because it's protected by the Historical Society. They have to maintain it the way it was, and it's like, we don't have that kind of history here in America. Most of our history is Native American and colonial, all the way up through the Civil War and stuff. And that's fine. I like that kind of stuff too. But where's the medieval, man? I want that. No Ren fairs near you? Yeah, we get Ren fairs here. They're just not good. Not in the way that I want. Not my kind of good. It's I want like this level of detail that has not been, like, I remember going to a Ren fair when I was a kid, and this was back before we moved to Arkansas. I was raised in Arkansas, but I wasn't born here. My dad was military. So when I was a kid, like a kid, I remember going to a Ren fair in Colorado because we lived in Wyoming when I was a little kid. And man, I remember being a kid and thinking that Ren fair was awesome. And I still have pictures and stuff. My mom still has pictures and picture albums and stuff. So I remember how good it was. They even had like a little torture museum with all these wax figures and showed you all, like they were all stuck in medieval torture devices, like the Iron Maiden and stuff, So you could go into the dungeon and see how people were tortured. And they had people walking around on stilts with like colored faces, blowing fire. They had the fire sticks and they're on stilts. So they're 12 feet tall, and they're walking around, and the pant legs are really long too to match the stilts. And they're like giant. They had booths where you could buy all kinds of pewter dragons and crystals and magic things and weapons. People actually sold swords and chainmail and stuff. And I may have only been like a kid. I may have only been 8 or 9 years old. But it blew my mind. But it's still in my mind. I remember going to the castle. They had erected a castle at this Ren fair in Colorado. And this had to have been the early 90s, right? And it was like, oh my God, as a kid, you're like, it's a castle. But I even still remember you walk through the drawbridge and it was just like they put up 4 walls. And it was just an open courtyard filled with more booths. And it wasn't anywhere near like a real castle. Like I touched the walls and it was plastic, because it traveled around. It was one of those, they break it all back down and they go to the next town. you know, kind of like an actual, state fair, and stuff. And man, I even remember being a kid going, why isn't it made of stone? Imagine building a place that actually has stone castles, like they're built the real way. You can rent out the rooms and everything because they're actually massive castles. They're not made of plastic. Second Fleet Actual says, have you thought to use micro solar units and LEDs for fairy lights? Also can be used to high power sources to charge cells and tablets. I've thought a lot about stuff like that, yeah. Oh, trust me, there's all kinds of ideas I write down in my little idea notebook every fucking day. And how to create an effect or how to do something or how to light something. Like I'd imagine people would be okay instead of having like proper electricity. What if I did solar power the village? Because you could put the solar powers up on the roofs of the buildings, and nobody would really notice them because they're on the roofs. You could potentially get away with that if they were just laying flat or whatever. It depends on how you build them, so where nobody really would have to see them. Who knows? Plus, electricity here in Arkansas is actually not that expensive. I mean, the Mississippi's nearby, and it's got plenty of power plants on it because that river water. I mean, we still got classic, water powered dams and stuff like that. There's dams. We've dammed a couple of different rivers here in Arkansas for power. Arizona's is a bit more permanent. Been running for 30 years in the same spot. See, that's a more permanent, and that's cool and everything. But it's still kind of not what I'm talking about. Mine's going to, if I ever had the money, mine would be like movie quality sets. It wouldn't just be like your occasional, tiny little castle made out of plastic and some booths and stuff. I'd have to see the one in Arizona, though. Tell me the name of it, and I'll look it up. But maybe it's a lot more realistic than that, and that's fine. I'd love the idea of that. I love that somebody's out there's done that somehow, some way, But there is a resurgence for the love of Renaissance stuff and medieval stuff. So, yeah, what are you going to do? I think people are looking for something new that's not just like in a single place. Like you go there, you park, you go in, you get your turkey leg, you walk around, you watch the jousting tournament. That's all fine. That's not what I want to do. I want to have a venue. It's not open to the public. Not really. I mean, I might have some days where people can just kind of come in and walk around. There ain't going to be an event going on, but you can come on out and take a tour, go see everything that I've built, go look at go stay in the castle, whatever. But what I want is like a venue where people would actually be like, we want to put on an actual medieval fair for people who are going to be medieval, like dressed in fantasy garb and everything. If you get a chance to read the DM I sent, I just want to know if my writing is shit or not. I do understand that you're a very busy man. James Colley. Yeah, I read that episode idea. It's not a terrible idea. I haven't written you back because I still have some thoughts on it, but it's not that you're writing shit. It's just it's not something that I can do right now. Like, I love that you're having ideas and you're sending them to me. All my fans are doing that, and it's hard to catch up on all those. But I can't even get beer burying down here right now. Like, we can't really work together, a lot of the stuff is just not possible for me to do right now. And I don't know, it could be tweaked or whatever, but it's a decent idea. Did I follow you back, James? Let me follow you back. Yeah, I'll have some more thoughts on that once I mean, I read it. I know I did because you told me to read it on a side quest, I believe, or another live stream I was doing. I just, yeah, it was when I was streaming with Undoomed. That's right. You told me that you sent it, but no, I mean, keep having ideas and stuff. I'll get around to them eventually. I need to reread it because I think I read it after I was done talking to Undoomed, and it was like 7 in the morning because I talked to him for like 12 hours. So let me go back and reread it. I do remember it. I know that even if it needs a little tweaking or if it was good or bad, I'll let you know. But at the same time, I don't remember it being bad. I thought it was good and interesting. I can't do it. Beardy can't even leave Canada right now. They won't give him his fucking birth certificate, so he can't get a passport. Oh, I have no idea what's going on with that. Like, he's trying his best. I told him to hire a fucking lawyer because this is some bullshit. Somebody over there is yanking his fucking chain. The damn government, you ask for a birth certificate and you show up in person and you're like, I'm right here. I'm not fucking faking it. I'm not somebody trying to steal somebody's identity. I have all these other identifications. I just need a birth certificate. They should be able to be like, verify who you are and fucking give you a fucking birth certificate. It ain't that fucking hard. It's taken months. He's been at this for months, years, trying to get his birth certificate so he can get a damn passport. So I can't even get him down here to film the normal stuff right now. So I love that you're having ideas. I love that you're writing these little stories that Magog and Beardy could go and do, but none of that's ever going to be like, by the time Beardy can finally get down here and get all this stuff worked out, and I've got the studio built and I've got the village and everything like that built, I'll have had 10,000 more messages by then and yours will be buried. So yeah, keep sharing with me. I'll try my best to read them when I can. But ultimately what you need to do is just write these ideas down and wait for the opportunity for the writer's room live streams. So when I'm finally at the new studio, I'm going to start doing these. Hey, let's bounce ideas off of the fans. Let's come up with some funny situations Beardy and Magog can find themselves in. And the people who want to be a part of that can come on stream and then send me stuff. And I'll open it in Twitter and right there live on stream. We'll read it together and we'll see if we can turn that into an idea or whatever. But you're just going to have to wait on that. Justin, what's up, buddy? Been a while. Yeah, I'm building the studio out on the land, and then I'm building a medieval village, and then I'm going to do like a whole sitcom. So I'm going to need you to come out and be like a barbarian or something that gets killed. I haven't forgot about you, Justin. One of these days you're going to get a call from me. Better grow that glorious beard back if you shaved it off. Hey, man, big fan. Have you thought of other background characters for the show? Many, many others. Yes. There's all kinds of ideas. I got an idea for the town guards that are going to fuck with, that are, Magog's going to fuck with. There's Lythea of Morskar, who's going to be like Magog's arch nemesis, and she's a necromancer too. How much do you think Rufus Bot 1000 would cost to build? Millions. Those giant animatronic creatures at like Universal Studios and stuff cost millions of dollars. Not only to build, but to maintain. Because you'd want it to be detailed, You'd want it to look nice. You'd want some Jim Henson level puppetry there, Think of the dragon from Dragon Slayer. That movie from like 1984 or whatever. That dragon looked, to this day, even though it's a fucking old movie, that dragon looked fantastic because it was all puppetry. It was all practical effects. That fucking thing looked awesome. But, yeah, I definitely need background actors. I need people that are just going to run around the village wearing medieval gear in the background while I'm filming. Like, it's not really a job. I can't pay. But if you want to be a part of the project and you're excited about it, I can't pay up front. But if there's start making money on the back end, then I can start offering paychecks. But anybody who wants to come out and just run around in the background wearing medieval gear, or even if you're a good actor, make a cameo as a bandit or a marauder or an adventurer coming through town to buy something from Magog, and you're good at speaking lines and stuff, and you're good on camera, and you feel right. There's at least a few beers in it for you the first time out, and then after that, have you back and start paying you. Once we start making money off the show. Yep, the Dark Crystal still looks amazing to this day. Yeah, that first season of the show is probably, I'm not going to be able to pay anybody much, if anything. I don't have the money up front. But if the show can be filmed and it's done right, and the website gets built and it gets offered, and then people go over there to watch it, then we make the money. And then we see about the next season paying you. So right now, I need people who just want to be part of this project and part of the growth of this world that I want to build. What do you think of them remaking Dark Crystal? I will pass judgment when I see it. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a thing Hollywood's doing right now, even Netflix. I mean, people are nostalgic. That's why they keep remaking movies and rebooting franchises, and some of them are done good. I liked Dredd. That was a great fucking reboot. Carl Urban was the best Dredd. Fuck the Stallone movie. Dredd was awesome. Some remakes and reboots are not so good. Ghostbusters 2016. Pretty much all the new Star Wars films. Not so good. So it really depends. I have my reservations. They want to remake The Crow. I think that's in progress right now. I don't know if you can remake The Crow, because Brandon Lee literally died making that film, and he made it immortal. They want to remake Big Trouble in Little China with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I don't know if I'll like it. Total Recall was a shit show too. Yeah, that's very true. Some remakes are good. Some reboots are good. Some aren't. The reboot of Spider-Man was good. Better than the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield or whatever his name is. But some aren't. So at this point in time, when it comes to Hollywood and stuff, I just wait to pass judgment. I just wait until it's actually out and I can see it for myself. So anyway, I think I've been going for 2 hours. So I hope that was a fun show. Like I said, I'm sorry that Bunty couldn't make it. He lost track of time, got into something and lost track of time. Maybe next time. I'd love to have guests on and just talk or whatever, but you guys got to see me unbox some stuff, and we talked about a bunch of cool stuff, and sometimes I like to do these, just talk with the fans, man. It's fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thanks to all my super chats. And shit, I did have Streamlabs. Fuck, I forgot. Did anybody even donate to it? Because yeah, they did. Mark Henderson. I would say do response videos when you find the ones that set you off. They are damn funny, and it shows when you respond. They are some of my favorites. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to do response videos. Don't get me wrong. I just haven't been feeling funny this month. August has been a very busy month for me with the clearing of the property and a bunch of other stuff going on, a few personal family issues and things like that I don't want to get into at this time of night. But thank you all for donating, and I will be working on a Magog episode this weekend. I got a Poe out right after SideQuest the other night, so everybody got SideQuest and Poe on the same day. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll work on a Magog this weekend, and then SideQuest on Monday, and we'll just keep rolling forward. and I'll eventually have a video of the property and everything here for you guys soon, and that'll be everything. You know, we'll just take it day by day. So. Justin says, always enjoy your shows. We need to get together sometime. Hell, live 15 minutes from you. Hell yeah, man. I don't really have space in my apartment to hang out or anything, but when the new place is built, come on out, man. Have a few beers, shoot some guns. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night.